say with the new?
That's called dialed into Zoom too, as a microphone. So
It's called what?
that's into Zoom. That's speaker.
Like Siri or?
It's basically a phone. It's just like a conference call phone. So you can dial into these. So
That whole thing? Yeah. So it comes through that.
well, this one doesn't have. You can't hear through this because it doesn't have a speaker.
That sound just came from you did or somebody?
That was something I did. That's a conference call.
Testing it out or something.
Yeah, I record the meeting, so if I hit record, and so that it makes an announcement to everyone.
Hello.
Yeah.
Were you able to, Mariah asked you a question about, not the conservation, the floodplain? About who did we contact to try to?
I think I emailed you the contact information for a woman named Joan Dupro, or Dupro.
I got your email about the meeting, but I think I saw that. Could you forward it to me again?
Yeah, I can.
Basically, who is she and what is she?
She's a state contact for FEMA. She's a state contact for FEMA.
Oh. Is that in the whole, the big guy above is FEMA? That's who?
Yeah, they make the floodplain. She works, I think, I don't know if she works directly for FEMA or for DEP, but she's a contact.
Okay, thank you. If you could do that forward to me again, I appreciate it. It may take 6 months, a year, 2 years, but they're contemplating now a recreation bill. Obviously, not in the front, in the back there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be coming to you guys. I don't know where.
Oh, yeah. You'll be back before the commission here.
Yeah. So the people next door with all the apartments and the swimming pool and all that, they must have had to come before the commission at one time to do those apartment buildings, yeah? Not since you were here, because they pulled back a ways.
Well, depends when they were built. They could have been built before the Wetlands Protection Act. I think it started in like the late 70s, 80s. So if it was before then they wouldn't have needed it because they would have been built before they even started doing this.
Because
otherwise, it would. Yeah, there might be a buffer zone, or they did get it.
Yeah, because their parking lot, the swimming pool is way beyond, where our fence is, and it's facing the fences to the right. Those apartment buildings, they got their parking lot and their swimming pool way past where our fence is.
They probably got approval, or it was old. It's been there for a long time.
Yeah, because looking at the elevation on our property actually goes, this is the brook down here. That's it. It goes on a little slant angle like that.
Yeah.
Because if we built this part up, then we might have a chance. But I'll talk to that woman who said, our idea is either to build up the land, or maybe put a barrier. But if let's say we built a cement wall, or something, a couple feet high, keep the floodplain. Is that it? Does that sound like something people do?
I know I don't know too much about getting out of the floodplain. You need conservation to do like as it.
Yeah.
Hello. Hey, everybody. What's up?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Putting in any order?
I set you up down there so you could be near the microphone. Oh, there we go.
My.
The conference line is plugged in.
All we have to do is recognize our names. We even get an agenda. Can we have you every week, John?
Anybody want to try one of Rath's beef chips? A little bit spicy, mango?
Spicy over there.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, no.
Chomp on. They have teeth, right?
My go-to in P-Town is Max Market. It's inland a little bit from the,
Most recent, right?
ferry gets off,
Oh, okay.
all the boats here.
We
Over there, they have Boston Bluefin tuna,
huh?
which is like, the local, cut deep red, beautiful tuna, raw. They'll cut it up into sashimi for you,
Oh.
and that's just like an otherworldly experience. It's so good.
We've been going there for vacations for such a long time. We have a rigorous schedule of restaurants that we eat at for specific meals
Good.
that we follow.
I love that list.
Every time we go.
That's cool.
Like,
Yeah.
we have, there's definitely
Pictures, right?
2 dinner places. We now have a third one. We go to the same place for breakfast every single day.
Yeah.
And then there's a variety of lunch places that we have to hit, and so it's usually like eating with some exercise in
Yeah.
between meals.
I like it. That's how it should
Long
be
walk.
over there. That's totally the right way.
Long-
Just you guys going? You bringing the kids?
We're dragging one along with us
There you go.
because we can't leave him at home. He can't be trusted. So.
Oh yeah. Hope you don't have a shed.
Well, the other one's going to be turning 22 while we're away, so I'm a little nervous because
Yeah.
the last time we went on this
Oh,
trip
party time.
on his birthday, there was a party in the house and there was damage.
Nice.
Yeah. Still a dent in my stainless steel fridge that pisses me off every time I see it.
Something like a lasting impact, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
but I think he learned his lesson after that.
Yeah. You're gonna break something. You're gonna break it all the way. You gotta get rid of it.
Oh, we got home. It was a long drive home too. We gave that home. It was a really hot, like a really hot humid day. But we walked in, like the floors looked clean, but they were sticky.
Oh, gross.
And we had just moved into this house, and I was like walking down the hall. I was like, why is the floor sticky? There was like some pizza stains in the
Oh,
bed.
yeah.
I was
Awesome.
like, all right. So there was a party. They just sort of wiped things down, but they didn't like clean. Just broken mirror, the dent in my fridge. Yeah.
Jesus, sounds like a good one.
I think he probably was. Yeah.
It probably was awesome.
Yeah. And he was like scared. Like he was like
Oh,
he didn't
sure.
come home for like 2 days.
Oh, no.
Like, we had to like tell him, you need to come home. We need to talk. We found some stuff.
How old's the other one?
17. I'll be 18
Oh,
this fall. God, he's putting us through hell.
Well, if anything, your lesson should be make
Tell
sure
the
the
kid.
kid's all set up.
Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the Wednesday, August 10th, 2022 meeting of the Lowell Conservation Commission. Our order of business tonight starts with continued business. First is an enforcement order given to SNR Corporation. The location is 204 River Road in Lowell, and this was a case of dumping fill within 100 feet of the riverfront area of the Merrimack River. Do we have anyone here from SNR? Have you had any communication with SNR, Dylan?
I've not had any communication.
Sorry about that. Working on it. Okay.
Yep, sorry, just putting my mic on over here, so. I've not had communication, but I did 2 site visits, and none of the work has been started.
Yeah.
So
So
SNR is
SNR is not actually the property owner. Should we be giving an enforcement order to the property owner?
We do have evidence of SNR on the site doing the work, of photos, and we spoke with them on this.
All right, and when they were here couple meetings ago, they did agree to remedying the situation, I think.
Thought so too.
Can we be in touch with them again for the next meeting, perhaps?
I don't expect them, been in touch with them, and tried to get in touch with them. The city can, if the commission would like, the city can enforce it.
How does that work typically? Do we,
City put an
does the
estimate
city put
to
an
it
estimate to it
prior to the
prior to the
commencement of work, or
commencement of work, or do they just
work and send
do
them
the
a
work
bill?
and send them a bill, or how's it?
My understanding that under our, the ordinance is under our zoning ordinance, we can give fines under the zoning ordinance. They comply.
Yeah, we can fine up to 300 a day, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's your pleasure with this? Is there a form for that, for levying of fines? Have you seen a form that, speaks to that, Dylan?
Our zoning enforcement, agent has citation book that they usually use. So that's one method. I know there's a way to fine under, like through DEP itself. I'm not super familiar with that process, but
Is this
So
something
is
that
this
we have?
something that we might send by the, city solicitor to, perhaps draft a draft document of some sort?
I can try to follow up with more depth details. That's not typically how, under the zoning ordinance, that's not how the fines typically happen. Typically, they'll get a ticket like on their door, mailed to them, explaining the fine. They would have to comply, or they can appeal.
Okay, perhaps a call to them first.
The city's wetland ordinance says, I think, my reading of it says it goes through the city solicitor to impose fines. So this, if I understood it correctly, this commission isn't empowered to levy a fine itself, but we can request the city solicitor to do so. That was my reading of not the zoning ordinance, but the city's wetlands ordinance document.
Next meeting is
Next meeting is
35
35 days from today. We can recommend, I think we can put a timeline on that. Recommend that fines start 35 days from now. And that way fine starts at our next meeting and they've had, plenty of notice theoretically to clean it up.
Okay, so you would be making a motion to, start levying fines?
Yeah, to recommend to the city that fines be levied on this property, starting on the day of our next meeting.
Yeah, I think that gives them plenty of time to respond and start work, or
Yeah.
at least respond and give us a timetable or plan or something, which I thought there was a plan that they had already, so
I thought so too.
I think that's a good idea.
And I don't know how long it will take for a lot of process, but
Well, I think, what we want is a start date. We want to see, I can understand where maybe their equipment's all been promised to other projects during the summer, but certainly, they've got a lot of equipment and they could give us a start date at least.
yeah. This, if I remember correctly, this was the same company that ended up in the canal too, right?
We had that other project, yeah,
So-
that's where they're located.
Yeah, I mean, they were good about that one.
I know,
I
they
don't know
seem
why
to,
they need a push here.
yeah, they seem to be willing
Well,
to do the work.
I wonder if it's the property owners who are,
Yeah, the ones on both sides of the property, right? 'Cause
yeah.
it was actually city property that it was dumped on, right?
Yeah.
That's what that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
two,
the abutters weren't pleased with the situation.
I think that's a good course of action. Give them 35 days and then start.
Yeah, I don't know how else to get them to respond. That's what the fines are for. So, I'll make that motion.
Okay, and, we would be discussing it the next meeting before we actually started the fines,
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's
Yeah.
how you structured it, the
Yep.
35 days.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll second it.
seconded by Perry, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, so that's a done deal. Next on the agenda, we have a request for a determination of applicability. Andrew Goddard, who is on the project at 10 Tupee Lane, and they have asked for another continuance to the September 14th meeting due to they're trying to get a peer review in place up there. Could we have a motion on this?
Make a motion to continue 10 Tupee Lane to the September 14th meeting.
I have a question.
Yes.
Has the peer review been completed? Has the consultant that was hired, have they done
The
their work?
consultant has been hired. I don't believe we've received the report yet. I would probably be sending it to Peter. Peter is out of the office last week. Be coming back next Monday.
Sorry to interrupt.
Good question. I like it.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Dylan, I turned down the volume over here on the phone. Will we be able to hear audio if anybody else chimes in anywhere else?
You'll need to turn it up, but nobody has,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'll turn it up enough that.
There's only the 4 people you see here and like 4 of us, so.
All right.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay, next item is an enforcement order that we gave to the Wat Lao Mixavar Yaram of New England Temple, 45 Bernier Street. And this concerned cutting trees in the 100 feet of the wetland. We came to an agreement at our last meeting, I think, about the trees. And would you like to say what's happened since then?
Okay,
You identify yourself, please.
Mr. President couldn't be here because he changed his work schedule. So now he's
Okay.
at work. He'll listen to this tomorrow.
You just need to announce your name and address.
I'm Ben Race, 45 Bernier Street.
Okay.
We bought the ornamental trees. Planted the ornamental trees. They're very weak since we were here. And watered every day. They would come down and checked it out. We saw that we were watering and tag on the trees. Ornamental made in USA.
What kind of a tree is it?
Red. It's a red.
Red bud?
That's a red bud. Made in the United States. Native to the United States.
Okay, great.
Which is what we
Oh, there it is, yeah. Okay, that's gonna be a pretty tree.
I have a question on something else after you finish this one.
Sure, so this is a request to lift the enforcement order, since what we had discussed was planting of replacement trees. And we've seen pictures of the trees that were planted. And probably in order to lift that enforcement at this time, someone wants to make a motion to that effect, or not.
You make that motion?
Okay, motion to lift the enforcement order, seconded by Steve. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. So your enforcement order is now lifted. Thank you for being so prompt and
Thank you for the process.
replanting.
Oh, yeah, well, we got them right?
Yeah,
We got lucky what we found, put it that way.
yeah, good.
I went around for 3 days. Just a point of information, in the future, we're planning on doing a recreation building, some kind of a building for indoor recreation, okay? And my question is that, Dylan provided me with the information on contacting the EPA to find out how you go about reversing or lifting the floodplain part. I was pushing it back, if we raise the level of the earth or put a barrier, or, we don't have a clue how you do that. But the woman at EPA can give us information on how to do it, and then I guess we come to you guys and say, we went there and we want to move the floodplain, and EPA says, we do this, we can do it, so then we come to you guys and ask.
Yeah, we can't do the moving of the floodplain, but, if you get a statement from them that the line has been redrawn, then we can deal with that.
my question, the part is that if we, contact, they say you gotta raise the level 1 foot, or you can put, where the fence is, you can put build a wall 2 feet, whatever we need to do, we're gonna have to come back and ask you, fellas, that EPA says if we do this, then we gotta go back to them and get, okay.
Yeah,
So,
can I give you my number? You can give me a call. I'm actually a neighbor. I live in Hollis in North River.
oh,
And I'd be interested in sort of assistance with that.
yeah, what's exciting, it may take 6 months, it may take a year, it may take 2 years.
It's not too difficult of a process, really.
It's not,
It's just it requires a check. Like
Check.
a check to see if the earth is really what the map says it looks like currently. So, yeah, I can do
And
that.
how about I keep blaming the city, because of the culvert that blocks the water from going, that creates a wetland on our property. I know the city's not gonna dig up the road and put a bigger culvert in,
The culvert goes under the road?
under,
North Borica,
no,
Are you
Under-
familiar with that culvert?
under Hollis?
on the Hollis, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
my,
yeah. It goes
my opinion-
from there to the back of the bunting club?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's my opinion, when the road was built, they chose to put in this size culvert
Yeah.
because it was appropriate, instead of spending another $50, $100 to put in
Yeah.
it would have went deeper, but it would have been bigger, it would have taken all that that stream, the drainage, it would have just went right straight through, and it wouldn't be backing up on our land and other people's land.
Okay.
That's my opinion, I'm not an engineer.
Yeah, I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you about that.
Well,
it is
maybe
what-
that's something you could get the city to look at, if you
Yeah.
think it's inadequate or undersized.
I mean, I know they're not gonna dig up the road and put a bigger culvert in.
Sure.
Just wonder
They
if
could put
any
a
other-
second one perhaps in,
If they could put a pump and then, suck the water out, I don't
It
know.
could just be that needs a cleaning,
Yeah.
there you go.
just a thought.
The
I don't
water
know.
does go through to the bunting club side,
Sure.
but it's like,
It's not a small culvert. I mean, it should move pretty quick.
it should.
It should. If it's not, I don't know. I've heard the water, but I haven't actually looked at the thing. I saw a video of a guy dragging a tire attached to a rope,
Yeah,
like down the culvert and ripping out all the mud out of it.
Oh,
Whatever. Maybe I'll come play with it.
that could be because our land is wet in that area. I mean, it's my opinion, it's backing up because it's not going that way. It's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
this way.
All right.
Just a point of information, we discussed it before.
mhm.
Okay. That's it, we're gonna be out of here, contact EPA and, right, we'll give you a call.
Cool.
Okay, well, thanks for coming by, and, thank you for planting the trees.
Yeah, appreciate it.
The president planted it. It was so hot, humid that day. I got the trees to the temple and I said, see it, I got a heart condition, I don't need,
Yeah, well,
So, anyway,
I wasn't digging any holes in that heat either, buddy.
group
Get it.
project,
he did,
Yeah.
he did, nice, the process was very nice process,
yeah.
like I said before, so.
Yeah, you'll enjoy those trees in the spring when they bloom.
Thank you again. Hope to see you on more friendly circumstances next time.
Okay,
Thank you again.
get easy.
This is my son.
Hmm?
Utai anyway.
My
My
nephew
second,
Utai.
my second son. He used to be a monk over there.
Right, right,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, we've got some new business tonight. A request for determination of applicability sent in by Jimmy Newong, 511 Princeton Boulevard. Is Jimmy with us tonight?
Is anybody for the 511 Princeton Boulevard project here with us today?
The only ones on the Zoom.
Oh. 3 of us? Oh,
I'm 2 people today.
Okay.
then we're the other person. All right. Well, all right,
All right,
cool.
interesting.
So,
Okay, so
alrighty.
this project is a 8x12 shed. And the floodplain line apparently goes right through this property. And because of the configuration of their house and all, it looks like the shed they're asking to put just into the floodplain several feet rather than, but then again, it's still in the floodplain, and I would have liked to know what their plans were for this shed as far as construction. We wouldn't want, for instance, to have a foundation on it. We'd want to have something, something that could be moved. And I was going to recommend, I've had for, 10 or 15 years now, a very heavy-duty vinyl tent that is just as solid as a wooden shed. And I was wondering if they would consider something like that, which, obviously the water could freely flow under it, but that would only happen in a flood. So I was curious about the, do you know anything about the construction that they had planned, or is this gonna be a shed they bought, ready-made, and sunk it down there, or?
They didn't provide any plans, but my recollection from the call, I think it was like a ready-made shed. I'm not 100% sure.
How big of an issue is Black Brook? I don't know any history about Black Brook's impact.
Black Brook is a big flood risk.
Okay.
Flooded many times in the past.
I mean, I think we should treat it up like any other floodplain issue. We've been very stringent, especially lately, about floodplain issues.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think if they're gonna put down like a deep pad or foundation or something, then that has to be treated the same as like a house at that point, right? As any kind of cement that they're putting in the ground.
well, we've allowed people to put
On like cinder blocks or something.
on cinder blocks in
Yeah.
wetland buffers.
Yeah,
No problem.
I should try.
But the flood zone, well, I think we've been treating very strictly, and any addition to the flood zone needs compensation to stand with our previous, decisions.
Where they're just on the edge, I'm wondering if they could find a different location on that property for the shed that was out of the floodplain. I know the floodplain line probably isn't very well defined on these maps.
Yeah, I mean, it tries to,
Perhaps on the edge of the driveway, or,
it would take up parking spots.
Yeah, under zoning, they would not be allowed to put it in the front yard.
So it is pretty much the most out of the floodplain it can be. I mean, where
yeah,
there's like right up against the house, these are the back stairs,
yeah.
right? And so he's got it, as close to that as possible. Obviously, there's no other space on the lot. So I think it really comes down to him being able to have a shed or not. I don't know, I can't justify underlying it. But I also,
Well, there's the
Understand.
issue of them floating away and crashing into things during the flood as well.
sure,
That's why I mentioned the, this heavy vinyl tent material that I've been very happy with. It's a Rhino shed. Rhino, I guess they call it a shed.
yeah, and that's basically like, you can get the tent with size, right?
Yeah, mine is like, I
Like,
don't know,
like a
10
carport?
by 30.
And they're pretty sturdy, and they don't need as much anchoring as like a full shed does.
I haven't had any maintenance on it for 15 years. Just
Love that.
Keep the snow off of it, that's all.
Yeah. But I guess we still have to hear from them.
Yeah,
we don't
I'm
have
surprised.
to, but we
Yeah,
typically do.
we should give them the chance to
Well,
talk
it
about
is,
it.
it's obviously, it's applicable.
Yeah. So we want to say we're leaning in a direction, but we're going to give you one more chance to show up and explain yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think we should give them at least one more chance. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
happened this time, but we give them one more chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that, September?
So make a motion to continue to 9/14?
Yeah,
Okay, motion made to continue,
I'll second it.
seconded by Perry. And any further discussion? Dylan, if you could communicate with them that we want more details about what they have planned. even if they just call in, but it's very hard to approve something when you don't know what it is. All those in favor?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. Next, we have another request for determination of applicability, from 120 Mount Vernon Street LLC. The location is 948 Lakeview Avenue, and what they want to do is repave the existing driveway and put in a curb cut. I don't believe the curb cut is our concern, but this is within the 100-year floodplain. This is that area of Lakeview that flooded out in the 1938 flood. I'm not sure it's flooded since, but we did have Domino's Pizza, which is some distance away, that came before us. I was out there today, and they're rehabbing the entire house from the looks of it. It looks like it's a total rehab. And the driveway was totally sunken, cracked, hilly. And if the driveway were going to be finally the same height as the sidewalk, which is normally the same height as the curb, I would see no problem with this. It is already paved, but it's obviously in need of redoing. So I assume they would have to take out what's there, because there's no way you could pave over something as badly damaged as it is right now. Is there nobody here for this one either?
No. So our comments, our conditions would be that it is in fact replaced in the existing footprint, and that it is repaved at the same elevation that it is. I don't care about the curb cut either.
Yeah, that's a zoning or something
Yeah,
issue, right?
that's
And,
Yeah, I mean, that's how we've treated things in the
Yeah.
past, so I think
Yeah,
that's fine.
it'll be an improvement definitely for the house, but I don't think it'll be any detriment to the
No,
floodplain
that's fine.
if they do it that way. Is that a motion?
sure. I'll make a motion to grant a -3 determination with the conditions as previously stated.
Okay, seconded by?
I'll second.
Seconded by Steve. Further discussion? Okay, so, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that one passes as well. So that's the end of our regular, business on the agenda. Is there any new or other business, Dylan, that's not on the agenda?
No, just
No?
meeting minutes.
Okay, the only thing left then is the minutes of July 13th, our last meeting. I seem to have trouble opening minutes that are sent out by the city. Did anyone willing to make a motion on the minutes?
A motion to approve.
Yeah, that's fine, I'll second.
Okay, motion approved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, so the minutes passed. Thank you. That's the absolute end of our agenda for this evening, and we only have left a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Seconded
I'll second.
by Steve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.